Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another figure versus figure battle for you today, featuring two G.I. Joe classified figures. Spirit Iron Knife versus Storm Shadow. And if my voice sounds a little off to you, it's a lingering after effect of a recent bout I had with the virus. So I may sound a little hoarse in this video. I apologize and thank you for understanding. Both of these figures were shipped out in the G.I. Joe A Real American Hero 40th anniversary boxes that were sent to several different YouTube toy influencers. I don't usually collect G.I. Joe Classified, but when I saw the reviews of both of these figures, they looked really great. So if the purpose of sending out those boxes was to increase sales on these figures, mission accomplished, Hasbro. Charlie Iron Knife, codenamed Spirit, first appeared in 1984. In the comics, he debuted in issue number 31, and in the animation, he made his first appearance in the Revenge of Cobra miniseries, where he was voiced by Greg Berger, and Freedom's vocal effects were done by Frank Welker. So for you Transformers fans, that's Grimlock and Megatron. Storm Shadow, aka Thomas Arashikage, also made his debut in 1984. In the animation, that was also the Revenge of Cobra miniseries, and in the comics, he made his debut in issue number 21, which is the famous silent interlude issue. Although Storm Shadow was mostly known as the opposite number of Snake Eyes, mostly thanks to the Larry Hama written comic books, the Revenge of Cobra animated miniseries actually set up Spirit to be more of a foil for Storm Shadow.
There is too little air to waste it on pointless combat.
Agreed. Soon we will either use up what oxygen remains or the sea will rise and take our lives.
We must dwell on this.
So I think it's appropriate that these two figures go head to head. As classified collectors know, the character artwork on the packages differs wildly in style from figure to figure. For Spirit, we get a very stylized rendition of the character, which carries over to the side. It's actually a nice bit of artwork. And for Storm Shadow, we get a more traditional sort of comic book type illustration, which is also quite nice. And both figures feature the same collage artwork on the back of the box. Spirit comes equipped with a backpack, rifle, 2 knives, a sidearm, and of course his eagle partner Freedom, who has 2 interchangeable pairs of wings, one folded and one spread. Spirit is a really nice looking figure. The sculpt on the face is excellent. He's got holsters and sheaths for all his weapons. For the rifle, there's a peg on the backpack where you peg the rifle through the trigger, which is a bit unusual, but that's how they did it. I like the coloring on his outfit. He's got his stripes on one sleeve, a tomahawk symbol on the other, referencing his Native American heritage. He has all the usual bits of articulation that you see in modern figures, double jointed knees and elbows. They are pins, not pinless, but for the most part, the pins are molded in the same color as the extremities they're in, so they are not that noticeable. Freedom is also quite nice. He's got articulated feet, wings, and head, although that head is on a very small ball joint, and it did pop off a couple of times when I was manipulating him, so be careful you don't pop the head off and lose it. He does have 2 pegs on the bottom of his feet, which peg into the gauntlet on Spirit's arm. And they also peg into Spirit's backpack, and there he is with his wings outspread. And I think this is how a lot of people prefer to pose these two characters because it is quite a dramatic effect. And as you can see, he can stand up nicely with freedom pegged to him. He is a well-balanced figure. Storm Shadow also comes fully equipped with a bow and arrow, 2 swords, a hood, and a backpack which is made up of the arrow quiver and the sword sheaths. Another very nice looking figure with nice sculpting. I really like the bright white on his uniform. That red cobra symbol really stands out. He's got a couple of shuriken molded on to his belt there. And I like how all the accessories store in the backpack. He's got the 2 sheaths of the swords. The bow can peg right onto the quiver. And while most of these arrows are molded into the quiver, there is one loose arrow right here in the center that fits in a slot. So when you put that in, that pretty much blends in seamlessly. That's a really nice design touch. He does come in the package with the hood pulled down around his neck. You have the option of pulling the head off and putting the hood on him. There is a slot on the bow where he can knock the arrow. I believe that's the correct terminology. And here he is with his 2 swords. And one thing to note, this figure is actually pinless. So he still has the double jointed knees, elbows, etc. that Spirit has, but without the pins. So it gives him a nice clean look. And now comes the hard part, deciding a winner. And this is going to be a tough one. These are both excellent figures. G.I. Joe Classified has come a long way since their initial waves where they included those infamous Nerf guns and changed the costume designs. People call those the Fortnite wave. Classified has really turned a corner and has been putting out some excellent figures lately. So, if I have to choose, Spirit is the winner. Even though he has the pinned elbows and knees, which I know a lot of modern collectors don't like, they prefer the pinless, this is an excellent sculpt. He's got great colors, and they did a fantastic job on his partner Freedom. So Spirit Iron Knife is going to have to take this battle. While we're on the subject of G.I. Joe, I'd like to point you in the direction of 2 great channels that are run by friends of mine. The first is Dave C. Straight from the Pit. Dave is a hard-rocking, hockey-playing knucklehead from the Great White North who loves a real American hero. He and his son Shane have put together an extensive G.I. Joe A Real American Hero collection, both toys and comic books. Dave does videos featuring the figures, playsets, vehicles, as well as the original Marvel comic run. So if you love learning about G.I. Joe from the 80s, do check out Dave C. Straight from the Pit. The other channel is Bob Squad. Bob is a very funny stand-up comic from California. In his spare time, he creates what he calls Son Bob Productions. Basically, he makes live-action cartoons using his toy collection. He started out with G.I. Joe, but has since expanded to include Transformers, Motu, Batman, and the DC superheroes. He puts a lot of work into his Son Bob Productions, which feature music, sound effects, and interesting stories that sometimes include cameo appearances by Dr. Zaius, Godzilla, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Lemmy from Motorhead. What's not to love? I will put links to those channels in the description of this video. Do check them out. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.